So today we're doing Valentine things again. So you see on this side I've done a pour that is a blowout that makes a heart. On this one I did a net on my canvas and lifted it to make a muted style background for my heart. And today we're going to actually do a fake stained glass. So faux stained glass, smaller frame today. And it's going to be in the style of this stained glass right here, and you'll find that one on my channel. It's called Easy Faux Stained Glass. Now this is something really easy. You can do this one at home. You need glue, you need acrylic paints, and you need either dyes, alcohol inks, or food coloring. So try this one at home. Okay, so I'm going to do my stained glass pictures on some old frames. Now I buy my frames from warehouse sale that it gets things from hotels that are going out of business or they're refurbishing. So these two were from a hotel, and for some reason someone in their infinite wisdom decided to use caulking to put them on the wall. So I have to clean that up a little bit. But in order to prepare these, now you'll see this more extensively on my Easy Faux Stained Glass video. I remove the staples or push them back. Now you see I'm using a tool. Sometimes I will actually use a wood stick and put under them, but these are pretty, looks like they're pretty insulated with really thick pieces of cardboard, it looks like. So I don't really need my wood stick to help keep me from busting the glass. And a little bit here I'm going to put my table protection down. I'll probably either use a silicone mat or some old towels, and that will help me too. So let me get these out of the back here. It's usually pretty easy. And then my next step is going to be to clean up my glass. Alright, so you can use Windex or anything. The really important thing, though, is to make sure your glass is so thoroughly cleaned and dry. Otherwise, when you put the next step on, when you put your product on to make the fake stained glass, it is going to peel off because there's either oil or smoke or other residue on your glass. So make sure you clean them very, very well. So I'm going to do that next. I'll go get my window cleaner. I'll be right back. Okay, so I have my backing out, and I do like to leave these staples in here even though they're pushed back, because I will use these later if I can to put the glass back in this frame. So very carefully to be able to get your glass past your staples, just push up and wiggle. Now, I have had times when I could not get the glass past my staples and had to go ahead and pull them out. That's okay, because you can always add them back in later. So let me get these out, the glass out, and we'll get it cleaned up. Alright, so I'm going to share with you some of the things that I'm using to make my stained glass. So first of all, in a bottle, I'm going to use a squeeze bottle like this from the dollar store. You'll see in previous videos that I use a squeeze bottle that came from hair dye. However, this has almost the same size hole, and it's easily closed up. So I use this mixed with an acrylic, so I'm using Mars Black as my mixture. Mars Black, Elmer's Glue All, mixed into a squeeze applicator bottle like this, and I'm going to use that as the lead between my stained glass. And then inks or dyes with school glue that is clear Now, I've heard of people using food coloring. Now that could be used. I've never done that, but you could try that. Do not use acrylic paint in the clear glue section of your faux stained glass because it will not be clear. If you want it to be clear, you want to use clear glue and inks, dyes, or food coloring. Test your clear glue and make sure it doesn't turn yellow. See, this glue is a clear glue that I got at a craft store. I can't use this on my faux stained glass because it does not stay clear. So test those out before you start, okay? All right, so I'm going to choose some colors. Again, I'm choosing it by color, not whether it is dye-based or alcohol-based. So I'll choose some colors and get my things mixed up. Okay, so I have mixed up my black acrylic with my Elmer's glue all, and I actually added a tiny bit of silver in with it, so I'm not sure how that's going to affect it, but I thought it might look a little bit more like the lead on faux stained glass. The test that you need to meet when you're ready to use this is it a texture that you can actually write with easily and it doesn't just run out of your bottle when you turn it upside down, and you don't have to squeeze really hard whenever you're trying to use it. Now you can use a bottle with a thinner lid, thinner hole if you would like. I have done that before. It's sometimes hard to manage those. So we're going to try this one today. It's going to be Valentine's themed, and I don't have a drawing on the back. I'm just kind of making this one up as I go along. So we'll try it and see how we love it. So here we go. I'm going to actually let this dry for a few hours, and then I'm going to put designs in between. These spaces. So I've actually also added to my testing the Sharpie test. So I actually took clear glue after my Sharpie had dried to see if it would mess it up. So if it's just clear glue, it's not going to mess it up. I don't know about any of these colors. So we're going to go ahead and finish our inside designs with Sharpie, and then we're going to go ahead and get painting. So let's try that. So I really like the designs that I have so far, so I'm just going to keep going with them and see if we can't get some nice cute designs. Now we'll be painting these, of course, but and I think these will be solid colors. I usually use an old paintbrush, so I find one. This one actually is even a little bit loose. I like to use one that either has a flat tip or an angled tip in case I need to get into some of the small corners. I actually have an old one that is a pointed tip, and I'm not sure I'll use that one today. But let's get started with these. So I'm actually going to do some of this seated. I don't usually do most of my art seated, but that's all right. So the only choices that I'm not going to use from my test is the alcohol ink. Even though it was transparent even in black, I don't really know that I want black on any of my designs. I might do that inside these bubbles. I just haven't decided yet. I think I'm going to do this electric orange here in some of these. Now, I've had people ask me if my designs ever fade. Now, I have to tell you that sometimes in my designs that are in a window, I will see fading with reds and greens. I don't know what it is about the alcohol-based reds and greens. I think that after I finish this one, it will be a good test because it's going to be in a window that faces, let's see, that one will face east. So we'll see how this one fades. It will take a couple years to see because it does take a little while for them to start fading, so that's all right. I do have a video that is all about how to fix faux paint, faux stained glasses. So, all right. So it was really good to see that my Sharpie works and doesn't come off. Let me mix some additional colors and I will be right back with you. All right, so I decided I was going to do the opal or the faux snow around the outside edge. So I just went ahead and dumped it out of my little measuring cup here. Now I did buy this I keep saying fake stained glass, but this faux snow at Dollar Tree. And I have actually made some cool coasters out of it already, and it's beautiful. So it will not be totally transparent, but it will be kind of pearl looking. Now here's an interesting thing that I noticed. This is the food coloring. It just spreads like, I'm not sure why, but it separates and does not stay solid whenever I'm putting in there. So I'm going to try one more layer of it, and if that doesn't work, I'm actually going to take that out of, I'm going to put a real thick layer in. Maybe the glue as a binder will help. There, that looks a little bit better. So that's the food coloring. Always want to make sure you are putting your brushes and your sticks in water right away. That way you can make sure you're getting the glue out of the bristles. All right, so I add another couple drops of regular red to this neon orange. Let's see what that looks like. Looks about the same. A little pinkish. I think I like that color. I'll use that in a couple other places here. I'm actually going to use it with a smaller brush. Boy, I made some of my designs so small, it's hard to get to them. Let's make these little hearts red too. Finishing up my painting of these, I actually used my red that was the dye inks, and after I used the neon orange, I added some red to it, and that's what you see here. I added some purple to the same mix, and that's what you see here. And I only use this much of my ink, or of my glue. So as you can see, you don't use very much glue for this whole project. The outside is my glitter, or my fake snow. And let's let this dry. I'm kind of excited. It's time to put our design back into the frame. So what I like to do is I like to put my design away from the room. Now, those of you who are purists and do stained glass, don't roast me. But the reason that I liked, because you want to see the bumps probably in the room, but the reason I like to keep my design away from the room is that these items cannot be cleaned very much with water, because then it begins to lift the design. And so if you want your design to last inside your frame longer, you want to hang this away from the room, and then it doesn't get so dusty. All right, so even using my softer tools, so I have this, I use this actually to curl the ends of ribbon or to make paper flowers that curl. So it's actually a kind of a plastic acrylic thing. So I used that to push my staples aside, and they still weren't going to let my glass in without difficulty. So I actually removed the staples all along the top, and I'll just use kind of an industrial stapler to put some staples back in there if I need. However, I have 3 sides that are already holding my glass in, so I think I should be okay. So let me finish putting down all my staples, and I'm going to bring this up to the window, and you will get to see how beautiful, how wonderful this looks in my studio window. So as you can see, there are some things that I wanted to point out to you. So the food coloring kind of separates a little bit, but my alcohol inks just stay true. I did have someone comment on one of my videos that they believe food coloring will fade fast, so because I have a combination here, I should be able to figure out which one fades more. This is the pearl, so you see how the pearl ink moved all to the center. So this was a good trial to see how all these worked. So thank you for watching.